Raw took place in London, England at the O2. Obafemi came out to start the show. He was super over as he talked about who he will go after he wins the King of the Ring. Then Jey Uso interrupted him. Fans do the stupid yeet. He runs it back because, of course, Jay messed up his promo because he's blown up. That's why the Yeet gimmick sucks. He's already a bad worker, but it makes it worse when he wrestles because he blows himself up. Same thing with the promos. I hate this gimmick. I hate the Yeet. I hate that it's now actually in the WWE intro. At the end, you can see the fans doing the Yeet. I hate everything about the Yeet. I can't stand it. And I don't necessarily hate Jey Uso as an all-round performer because I still do like the right-hand man. I like that version of Jey Uso. He's actually really good at it. And, the Usos are one of the best tag teams of their generation. It's just unfortunate that we still have to go through this fucking Heat thing because these fucking fans want to just be part of the show and do something. It's like, God, fuck the Heat anyway. After he messed up his promo, I don't remember anything else. Oba cut a good promo after Jay messed up. Brock was not there. He did not mention Brock Lesnar, which was interesting. Maybe they don't want you to think Brock's going to be there, but the way it's set up here, they did not mention Brock or even refer to him. So maybe Oba wins, but I'm at the point where I think Jay's winning, and I think Brock's going to cost Oba. So we go backstage, and Adam Pearce was backstage when LA Knight confronted him. Jimmy Uso confronts LA Knight about what happened last week. They argue, and then Adam Pearce made a match between them later on the show. Brie Bella and Paige were out next. I don't think Paige got that big of a reaction as you'd expect because she's from the UK, and it wasn't that loud to me. I've seen her get louder reactions before when she's been there, when she's been home, but for someone who's from there, it wasn't that big of a reaction if you ask me. So we go backstage and we get to see the lovely Jackie Redmond interviewing Bayley and Lyra Valkyria backstage before they make their entrance. You knew something was off. The fact that Jackie was there to interview both of them together, you got the feeling if they weren't going to win, something was going to happen. Next, we got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line after Bayley and Lyra came out. They went on to challenge the Women's Tag Team Champions Brie Bella and Paige. So this was Bayley's final appearance for the WWE, at least in the UK, and of course they loved her. They serenade her. They sang, of course, "Oh Bayley, what's it called? Hey Bayley, I want to know if you'll be my girl." I think that's it. I remember how over she was when she was in NXT when they did that NXT takeover in London. In 2015, in December that year, she was so over at that time. It was ridiculous. They loved her in the UK, and they still do. So they sang to her. Eventually, the match wasn't much. Bayley was more over than Paige was, and Paige ended up pinning Lyra after a Rampage DDT. And Brie and Paige are happy. They celebrate, and then in the ring, Bayley is still with Lyra. Bayley kind of feels bad for her. She wants Lyra to stay up. She tells her we'll be back, and then Lyra turns on Bayley. Nice swerve because this was exactly what happened a year ago, more than a year ago, about 14 months ago, when Becky turned on Lyra. If you recall WrestleMania last year, Becky and Lyra win the Women's Tag Team Champions, and they lose it the night after on Raw to Liv and Raquel, and then after the match is when Becky randomly turns on Lyra after teaming with her the night before. Here it's like the exact same thing. Lyra gets pinned again, and everyone thinks Bayley, the veteran, she's in Becky's position, is going to turn on Lyra. Instead, it's Lyra who turns on Bayley. She grabs her and throws her right into the middle rope, which might not look too devastating, but when you know how hard or how tight those ropes are wired, it probably fucking hurt. She beats down Bayley, hits her finisher on her, and I'm glad they turned Lyra instead. It makes sense. You know what? Why get the heat on Bayley if she's going to leave the company, which I think she is. I'm convinced Bayley's out of here in the fall. So why have her get all this heat when she turns if she's going to leave? You may as well get the heat on someone who's going to be there for the time being at least, and for the foreseeable future, Lyra, you would expect. So why not get the heat on her? And if you're going to turn Bayley, you're just repeating the exact same thing you did last year with Becky. And I criticize Paul Levesque all the time for this. he'll retread the same things that work. I mean, I was just expecting, all right, Bailey is gonna be in the Becky position. Instead, it's Lyra who turns, and I really like this. And this was my favorite part of the show, and I thought this was a great angle. I'm glad they turned Lyra, and I look forward to seeing what she can do as a heel. I just don't like her that much as a babyface. She needs new theme music though. That theme music is too much of a face. I think babyface theme music. She needs to change that. So Jackie Redmond asked Lyra Valkyria why she did that. She refused to answer backstage. Then later, Chad Gable was out next. His theme music really sucks, by the way. I hate it. So I don't trust Def Rebel to get Lyra a better theme song. He invited Otis, Maxine, and Cesaro to the ring. They come out. Chad says he's sorry to all of them. Then Maxine grabs the mic and calls him a liar. Why does she keep getting all these fucking opportunities? There's so many women in that company who are so much more talented than her. It's like, whatever, yeah, she's good looking. I mean, like, there's not good looking women in WWE. Like, okay, whatever, that's all she has. I don't get why their infatuation with her. She's going to join Division. She rips into Gable. It just feels like this whole thing was more designed to get Maxine Dupree over than Chad frickin' Gable after having the match of the year like a month ago. Not even a month ago, only a few weeks ago against El Grande Americano. It's like, what the fuck is this? And then Cesaro and Otis leave with her. This isn't helping Chad. It's just sad. They'd rather push Maxine Dupree still, and this pisses me off. You know, Chad Gable, I hope his contract's up soon. He should leave. It is what it is. Chad Gable has everything. He's great. Has a great look. His incredible physique. Very good on the mic. He has charisma. He's excellent in the ring. He has everything except the one thing that he can't control, which is his height. And that's just unfortunate. And because of that, because he's short, he was once Shorty G, he just isn't going to get many opportunities, and they'd rather push Maxine Dupree because they think she's more marketable. I don't think Maxine Dupree amounts to anything. I've never been impressed with her. Again, there's a million attractive hot blonde chicks they have who are far better in the ring than her, who are better on the mic, who have more to offer than her. I just don't get why she has to get these opportunities. Don't like, whatever. We go backstage. Rey Mysterio was talking to Dragon Lee. Then Penta walks in and tells him to teach him some respect. They were upset with Ethan Page disrespecting them, so they want to tell him to punish Ethan Page. So Ethan Page was out next. He cuts a promo. Then Dragon Lee comes out. We get Ethan Page and Dragon Lee. Page hit a low blow, then hit his finisher to win the match. Michael Cole announced that WWE Unreal Season 3 debuts on July 21st. I'm pretty sure that's exactly the same time, maybe about the same time that Season 1 debuted last year. So I guess every July, a week before SummerSlam, about a week and a half actually, is when we should expect to get a new season of Unreal. And I'm looking forward to it because it's about John Cena. I'm interested in. Look, I know John Cena's a company guy. He's never going to bash him, but I'm just interested to seeing his reactions on this last tour, and it's the John Cena retirement tour. It's the whole theme of Unreal. You knew they were going to film a documentary on this, and it's going to be kind of funny seeing Triple H's reaction in Washington when he got booed out of the building after he had Cena lose to Gunther. But I'm looking forward to Unreal. I really am, and that comes out. We have to wait about a month for that, but I'm looking forward to Season 3. I enjoyed Season 1 and 2. Jackie Redmond, did I mention how good she looks tonight? I love Jackie. I love Kathy Kelly too. I love both of them. I love Jackie and Kathy, but Jackie looked great tonight, and she's interviewing Division backstage. I don't give a fuck about Division. I'm only looking at Jackie. Io Sky headed to the ring, and then we got a Sol Ruka video promo after that. We come back. They showed some people in the crowd, by the way. Some boxers, some Zuffa guys. I don't know who any of these fuckers are. No one cares. It's funny. Whenever they have to try to promote Zuffa boxing, no one gives a fuck. But they did show Jason Statham in the crowd. He got a nice pop. Very popular action movie star. He was in this. He was there. He got a pop. And then Jackie Redmond, I love seeing her. She was in the ring to interview Io Sky before her match against Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring finals this Saturday. Io came out looking great, and she said she's very grateful. She's talking about the match on Saturday, and that's when Liv Morgan interrupted her wearing all leather. Oh my God, Liv Morgan tonight. I mean, Liv Morgan every night, yeah, but Liv tonight, wow, and that leather, like her. she's like wearing almost leather tights, not like what you see women wear, tights, and like they're so short. It's like Nikki Bella short, and like whoa. And it's funny because my favorite part of the whole show, Liv's walking down the aisle. She's like walking down in between the fans. Like all the fans, when she walks by, they're looking at her. And when she walks past them, they're all looking at her ass. And it's like, wow. That's and it was even more impressive. I had to mention this. Some of the women were looking too at Liv. They maybe they're appreciating Liv for her behind, but wow, that was definitely a funny part of the show. Just seeing everyone just look at her, look behind her, like everyone is, even the women were too. Anyway, Liv cuts a promo. It's a brief promo with Io, and Liv was teasing facing Rhea at SummerSlam. So Io got the best of Liv. She hit a dropkick. Liv retreated. It makes you think that Liv is going to win and challenge Rhea at SummerSlam and try to unify the titles. That's what I'm looking at. Like, that's where it seems like. I don't think they should unify both titles, but you can have a situation where Liv puts, where Rhea is defending her belt and Liv doesn't actually defend her belt. You can do something like that. But it looks like Liv and Rhea at SummerSlam. So Jay was talking to Jimmy backstage. Jacob Fatu showed up. Like, he's doing nothing. Why even have to fly him out all the way to London to do this? Like, just to be in a segment for like 30 seconds. But I guess they do house shows still. So I guess there was one in Wales the night before. LA Knight was out next. Then Danhausen was in his lair when we came back from commercial. Danhausen in his lair when JD and Dom walked in. He curses JD McDonough, who electrocuted himself. Look, if Danhausen's just going to have one segment per week, it's fine. It's entertaining for what it is. And you know what? Okay, I'm fine with it. I used to not like it because he was being overexposed, especially with that horrible Backlash match against Miz and Kit. That was horrible, but this version of Danhausen, one segment per week on the show, even if it's incredibly cheesy, is not going to hurt. So, I guess JD is going to be cursed now. It's his new gimmick. Jimmy Uso came out. We get LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. So Solo Sikoa interferes. He hits Jimmy with the Samoan spike, leading to LA Knight getting the win. Backstage, Jackie Redmond, can't get enough of her on the show. She interviewed the Street Profits backstage about their match. Then we see Division warming up. And then we get more Jackie when she interviews Bayley in the doctor's room. Bayley had nothing to say. She's was, I guess, supposedly injured by Lyra. This will be fun for Bayley having her final farewell. Her feud with Lyra, which will lead to her, I think, leaving for sure. Definitely expect her to leave the company. We see Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez backstage with the Judgment Day when JD walked in with Dom, and then Liv eventually walks in. Raquel was upset with Liv. Liv then tells Raquel to go after Sol Ruca for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And then Liv forgets to tell Roxanne what's next for her, so clearly they're building tension with Liv and Roxanne. I don't think it's a good idea for Raquel and Roxanne to turn on Liv. I think Liv and maybe Raquel will turn on Roxanne, because I think Raquel and Liv are just really good together. I think Raquel loves being, Liv's kind of bodyguard. She loves being the Diesel to her Shawn Michaels. So, Roxanne, I think her and Liv eventually split. And I think Roxanne should be the one to maybe finally dethrone Liv. So we go to a Corey Graves interview with Seth Rollins. He talks about the Street Profits, puts them over, and talks about Braun Breaker facing him inside of a steel cage match. And then Adam Pearce was talking to Chad Gable when Dom, Liv, and JD walked in, demanding an apology from Chad. And JD is still like fizzed. He's still fuzzed from being like electrocuted. And then JD's going to face Chad Gable next week on Raw. Street Profits were out next, then Division came out. We get our main event, the World Tag Team Championships Division, which were Braun Breaker and Austin Theory defending their tag team championships with Logan Paul in their corner, by the way, taking on the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. So Logan Paul attempts to interfere, and Joe Hendry makes his return after a month, maybe 2 months, about a month actually. He makes his big epic Raw return. And he gets a pop. He's Scottish. He's not British, but they did love him anyway. When he came out, got a big pop. Well, I guess he's technically British. Sorry, I guess he's not English. He's Scottish, but they liked him here, and he got a nice reaction. He chased off Logan Paul. Of course, Logan Paul can't have any contact. And then Seth Rollins came out. He distracted Braun Breaker. And then what he did was he took brass knucks and hit Austin Theory with them. As then like Braun chases off Seth. And then the Street Profits then pin Austin Theory to win the tag team championships. They celebrate as the new champions to end Raw. And that is I guess probably will be the last Raw in Europe this year. And I think they won the tag team titles for SmackDown in Europe last year as well. So Street Profits, your new tag team champions, makes sense. Vision, I think, are kind of done as a team. Because if they're going to add Maxine Dupree, which they will, I shouldn't say if, they will add Maxine Dupree. Look, I think Braun Breaker is just so above that he shouldn't be part of this group anymore. Paul Heyman is done. He should no longer be in Division. Vision are a cursed team. Look, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Maxine Dupree is a heel unit. That's fine. It's like a fine mid-card heel magnet. People don't like Logan Paul. They don't like Austin Theory that much. Maxine Dupree, I guess, can be a heel. Like, I guess it's like, the kind of the pretty boy tag team with like the hot blonde with them. I guess it can work like that. As the unit, that's fine. But Braun Breaker is above this. He should no longer be in Division. And Paul Heyman is, I believe, done in Division. It's beneath them now. It's a joke group. It's cursed. When Bronson Reed comes back, he should have nothing to do with Division. Division is done. Now, we do have Night of Champions this Saturday, so setting up King and Queen of the Ring. That was the focus of a lot of the show tonight, and we'll see what happens there. And this was Raw in London tonight. Crowd, not the usual London crowd you'd expect. Not a bad crowd, just, when you think of Raw crowds and the UK, Europe too, like rest of Europe, like you'd expect them to be a little bit louder, but they were fine. But that was Raw. I thought Raw was just okay. Fine way to set up Night of Champions. And we'll see what happens next as how else WWE is going to set up Night of Champions, as SmackDown will also be taking place in London, England.